Hey there, everybody. Eric from Outer Limitless here with Carlos from Daily Carry Solutions. We're talking to Craig at the Tops booth. What's up, Craig? How you doing today?
Good, good.
Now, I've been watching Tops knives for years at this point. I've been seeing each year when your new model line comes out, there is a ridiculously amazing shitload of amazing looking stuff on the table here, more than usual if I'm seeing what I think I'm seeing. This is insane.
Yeah, I agree. We have 19 new models.
You're setting the bar, just so you know.
Some handle materials that we haven't used before, just a couple of little tweaks to things that people haven't quite seen from us yet, and then some really interesting designs.
This is incredible. I have picked a few of these up already, and I am absolutely pumped for you to talk about some of these new materials. These handles are sick.
All right, tell me which one you want to see.
Let's see them all. I mean, First things first, I mean, as we go down through here, there's some things that I think I've seen in the past, but it looks like you have some new handle materials.
Yes. So basically, there's a new one we're putting out. This is called the Camp Creek Fire Edition. The blade is a little bit different profile from regular Camp Creek, but it's going to be the same steel. It's at S35VN. So what's different is the blade profile is a little bit wider. There's a little bit. The point is a little bit less pointy. Basically, a lot of people that skin out their animals, they don't want that really sharp point because they're going to puncture through a hide. So we've made that belly a little bit more, a little bit rounder, so there's a little bit less of a point, a little bit wider blade. Other than that, it's basically the same. But we've got on this one we've got a gray G10 handle with two black liners on there.
That's pretty.
It's gorgeous. I really like that with the red Cerakote. Just kind of a gorgeous finish. And then the other one has this material is actually called SureTouch G10.
That is insane. That is what I'm excited for. And can I just grab that for a minute?
Go for it.
The first thing, when you get this in your hands, this is unbelievably grippy. And it's, would you call that a micro texture, or is that just kind of the way this material feels?
Well, the reason they call it SureTouch, the OD green on this handle is G10. The black is rubber.
Very cool. So that's what I'm feeling is the difference in those materials.
That rubber adds a little bit of grip.
Now, I'm not familiar with this. Are you really the first company to start using this, or is this sort of in the industry?
The company that manufactures the material is definitely trying to push it out there to a lot of makers. I don't know if anybody else has anything production with this yet. But the material's new as of, I think it was around November when they started showing it off.
Oh, wow.
So it's very new material.
And for everybody out there, this is something definitely to pay attention to if you're looking for that good positive grip and something that just feels really great in your hands. This is going to do it for you. Now, with this Camp Creek, this is something, has this become one of your sort of more popular selling models at this point?
As far as hunting knives go, I would say yes. The Camp Creek just was such a great design that it sold. We sold a lot of those last year. The thing I think that's happening is we're starting to reach more hunters out there that are looking for a high quality American made tool, and we've had great hunting knives for years. I mean, the Viper Scout is amazing.
I'd say underrated. A lot of people don't talk about that knife. It's underrated.
I love that knife. We've got plenty of hunting knives that are really good. But I think what the Camp Creek was, just the timing was really good. It's S35VN. It's a very high quality steel. You know, we used kind of a 3-color G10 on the original one. That stood out really well. It spoke to a lot of people, and so hunting knives, people are starting to take a second look and be like, wait a second, these guys have a lot of hunting knives.
Right. Yeah, you're not a tactical company. You're across the board. And so now that you're talking about hunting, I noticed this. Is this going to be a bushcraft notching knife, or is this a bone saw?
That is meant to be a bone saw. And actually the plan is that will be sold with this or separately as a set. We're calling it the Muley Kit. It's got that. We've got the SureTouch G10 on this one as well. These blades will be 154 cm stainless.
Yep.
There's a gut hook on the top of that saw, and then the saw itself has kind of a reverse grind. It's a little bit thinner on the spine than it is on the saw, so that will help avoid some of the binding.
That curve for the relief.
Exactly.
Nice.
Exactly.
That's smart. Same handle and design.
Yep, same handle, roughly the same length.
Nice.
And then basically we'll sell these either together. If people want to buy them separately, they can. The idea is that it'll be sold as a kit.
Now, what steel is this?
It's 154 stainless.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
So, I mean, obviously, where you have blood, you can have a lot of cleanup. So, having a good stainless steel on this makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, and 154, when it's heat treated well, 154 will go head to head with some of the super steels out there.
It's funny you say that, because when you say heat treated well, I've always said if you want a 154 blade that's been heat treated well, go to Tops. So
Thank you.
There you go.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
You nailed it. So what else we got?
Another new material that we're gonna try it out a little bit and see how it goes is this one. So basically another hunting type design. This one does have a little bit more of a point for the guys that.
That's awesome.
What's cool about this one for me is that you can get this blade with that little hump right there. You can get that blade and you can do some things that with a little more narrow profile you maybe couldn't. But what's cool about it is this inlay is that's not regular cowhide leather. That's actually shark leather.
Oh wow!
But the rough. What are they called? The little rough things that come off of that skin that kind of make it feel like sandpaper.
Yep.
This leather has had that ground off, so it's a smoother leather. But it's shark skin, so it's moisture resistant. It's not going to absorb a lot of water or blood.
Yep.
But it does give a good, nice. It's like a soft feel. It's it has a little bit of grip. And so we're gonna try this out and see how it goes.
So are you playing around with two different designs?
Yeah, kind of giving people a couple of options. They can decide whether they want the flat shark or the one with a couple of cutouts in there of the micarta.
Nice. No, clean, very nice. Yeah, definitely a good utility tip. I like that it's flat ground. Got a good purchase. Nice where you index, your thumb goes in that perfect spot. It's going to give you a good belly. Nice little knife. And what I also have always loved about Tops, you're not always talking the big knife, the machete, then you get down to your, survival wilderness blades, but you do great work on your smaller knives. So, it's not always these big, heavy choppers. You do a great job with all the smaller knives as well.
Yeah, I mean, like the Mini Scandi, that's one of my favorite knives of all time, and it's a 2.5, 3-inch blade,
Right. But speaking of larger blades,
here we go. Here's the big stuff. So one that I'm actually digging a lot is kind of a sax style design.
Cool.
So the sax is an old Viking tool. They used to use them as back in the day, an EDC tool would be larger.
Right.
They're going to use it for wood. They're going to use it for They're not going to use it to open boxes and packages. They're going to be using it for heavier duty tasks, and so an EDC blade back in the day was like 12 inches long. But it also, for them, it was great that it doubled as a weapon because, as a Viking, I guess you just never know when you're going to have to fight for Valhalla, right?
So let me ask you this. I think I see something that you may not have quite done before. What about those bright blue liners?
Yes.
Is that new color for you?
That is new for us. So on this one, we've got black canvas micarta with blue G10 liners. I think the blue pops really well.
It matches your shirt.
It does. It does. Yeah. So I mean, just something new, something a little bit different. We had some blue G10. We said, you know what, let's give it a shot.
I like it, man. There. That pops. It looks great against the tang of the knife. Looks good against the handle scales. Yeah. So that's pretty.
That's a nice color. I guess the departure from your standard sax on this design is the handle.
Yep.
Usually the handles are just completely in line with the blade. Nicely rounded, nothing wrong with the handle, but just not a lot of shape. Yep. Leo, being the guy he is, wants to add at least a little bit of flair, so he's got a little bit of a different handle on there to give you a couple of different holding options. You got your standard, kind of chopping grip. You got your grip where you can choke up and do some finer work. All that kind of stuff. 1/4 inch, 1095. It's got an acid rain finish on it.
Yeah.
Just a all around good looking piece. If you like that straight blade profile, which I do, this thing you're gonna like a lot.
Yeah, I mean that's gonna be great where you've actually taken some of the meat away down lower, but you get that forward chopping power. And I think that's going to work out well, where you're going to get a little more balance out of this, but you're also going to have the ability to do some of finer tasks, get into that heavy chopping when you need it, and obviously this thing's going to be a splitting monster.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's great. The heaviest piece on the table is this guy. Whew. So this is called the High Impact. We debuted it at SHOT Show 2 years ago, and it got put on the back burner afterwards. Once we started testing, we actually had a partial tang on this. The tang stopped about here. We started testing. On wood, it was doing just fine. Once we started hitting anything a little bit harder than wood,
more of like a breaching tool, right? At that point,
we busted out the micarta. And so we were like, you know what, this partial tang's not going to work. And so this is a full tang, 3/8 of an inch thick.
Yeah, look at that.
1075.
That is ridiculous. I mean, my pinky might not even be that thick.
Yeah, this thing is huge. It's got pockets all over the handle to reduce the weight. Cool. So, you know, a lot of people are going to say it's not full tang, it's skeletonized.
Yeah, it's
whatever.
full tang.
Call it what you want.
Yeah.
But the steel goes all the way to the end of the handle. But the cutouts in the pockets actually helped balance it out pretty good.
Correct.
It's a little bit maybe forward heavy, which you want in a hatchet.
Yep.
So this thing works great with a one-handed swing. The handle's long enough, you can actually get a two-handed swing out of that.
Oh, absolutely.
It's a large hatchet. It's kind of in between hatchet and axe in size, is what I would say.
Yeah.
And it weighs 3.6 pounds.
This is a serious piece of steel. There's no getting around that. But so obviously, nice coating, beautiful scales, nice liners, fit and finish as always. Nicely done. Very cool.
Yeah. Probably the last new one we want to show you this right now, because we got too much, is this guy. It's called the Night Spike. We've never made a throwing knife before. This one, I would say, is a throwing knife. We're going to be a little different than your standard throwing knives out there. It's not going to be a soft piece of steel. It's going to be sharpened. You know, it's going to be a knife that you could actually use if you wanted to do that instead of throw it. Yep. So it's not like it's locked into one use. The coolest thing about this is that we actually did a distal taper on it. So a lot of custom knife makers do this to get the balance right on their knives, where they'll take, we started at 1/4 inch and we tapered it down to 1/8 of an inch here at the end of the tang. That's done, custom knife makers do that.
Right.
Production knife makers don't really
It's an
do
additional
this.
machining step for you.
It's very difficult.
Right.
It took us a long time to figure it out and get it to be that smooth taper.
So is this your first production knife with the distal taper on the handle? Okay, interesting. Yes.
So we're actually even thinking about taking that taper even a little bit thinner down at the end, because we still feel like it's a little bit heavy on the handle side.
Well, I'll tell you what, if you want to, you could probably give this to Survival on Purpose, and he'll put it on his high-tech balance rotational machine.
He was here yesterday. And he was digging it.
He balance tests all of his knives, so this would be a good candidate to try it.
Yeah,
I'm sure he could give you some good feedback.
It would be very interesting. Yeah. So that's what's exciting about this one. We got that distal taper, difficult to do in production knives. We've never done it before. It's more of a custom maker thing, where that's how they dial in the balance on knives that would otherwise be handle heavy.
Now I'll tell you, this is not just going to be a throwing knife. I mean, this has good utility purpose written all over it anyway, so very cool.
Yeah, so there we go.
Well, Craig, thank you very much. I really appreciate your time today. Thank you for showing us all these beautiful blades, and can't wait to see these coming out in 2020.
Thank you for coming. Appreciate it.